because I wrote a paper about it for Greg's class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I was in that class.
Yeah, you were.
I sat behind you. Do you remember?
I do.
Yeah, we weren't really friends then.
That was like last year. Hyper Talkative.
Oh God, Ruby. Hey guys,
everybody.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Episode 34 of Hyper Talkative Podcast.
34 full episodes.
That's insanity.
I feel like once we got more than 10, we have nothing left to say.
No, we're
like
literally
it's like,
just
34.
Ah.
That's crazy. It's a lot of numbers.
Yeah. When you think about it though, that like if you put it into years, 34 years, that's 3 decades.
Wow.
Like
we've been doing this for 3 decades. That's crazy.
Wowza.
How are you guys doing?
Answer out loud.
Awesome. Or sorry.
No.
Hope it gets better.
I love when we do that. Welcome back to the podcast. We're excited to have you here. It's going to be a great one. It's February 2024. That's crazy.
Yeah. Whoa.
January flew by.
It's almost Christmas again.
Yeah. I feel like we were just talking about our New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
I've done none.
I've done quite
You've
a bit.
done some.
Have I? Yeah. Well, I have Duolingo now.
Yes.
I'm on my 12-day streak right now.
I'm so proud.
It'll be 13 once I do today.
Yeah.
I got a tattoo
Yeah.
and I've been trying to watch movies every day.
Yeah, and you've been doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've had some struggles this month.
You've had some setbacks.
So I haven't
it's out
been
of your
able to do
control.
much.
It's out of your control.
Exactly. But I've been reading.
Yeah, you have.
I have 2 books down to my 40-book goal.
And I feel like
50,
you have the aspirations
40. Exactly.
to do what you want to.
As soon as I am able to start doing it, I'm going to be off to the races.
Yeah.
It's just things out of my control.
Yeah. Eat her dust because she'll be running.
Exactly. Burn rubber.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Let's look at it's been a while since we've done an
yeah.
actual question because we did our New Year's resolutions and then it was
a Christmas question. Yeah.
But we have questions.
We do. We keep a stockpile of questions you guys ask us, and now we're going to answer one.
Pick a number 1 through 6.
All right. 4.
Oh, this is a good one.
Okay.
Our friends Aaron, Megan, and Hunter asked Pizookie or lava cake.
Oh! For those of you who don't know what a Pizookie is, it's this amazing delicacy from BJ's Brew House.
Yeah.
That is a pizza cookie. That's where the name came from. So it's pretty much just a cookie in a sheet, like in a big skillet, and it has ice cream on it, and it's warm, and it's so good.
Like a cookie pizza.
I think I'm going to say Pizookie. I'm a big, I love lava cakes, but I feel like sometimes they're hit or miss because, sometimes you can open one and it just isn't what you expect.
Yeah.
It doesn't, melt out.
Yeah.
But I love cold and warm ice cream and warm cookie.
Yeah.
So good.
My roommates are obsessed with, pizza cookies right now.
Yeah.
Noelle and Joanna made, 2 within the span of 24 hours and, finished them.
Yeah. I like making cookie cakes.
Yeah. That's what it basically is.
Kind of. It's basically just a flat, warm cookie with ice cream on it. And I feel like cookie cake is cold with icing.
Yeah, okay.
I make cookie cakes. I made it for the Super Bowl last year. I'm going to make one again this year.
I remember that.
Yeah.
What do I pick? What do I pick? You see, I love Chili's lava cake. I love it.
See, I've never had one from Chili's.
What?
So that might change my answer.
I think that I'm going to say lava cake.
Okay. We'll just have to go a taste test.
I like them. I like them both.
They're both good. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I don't like one because I like both.
I'm going to say molten lava cake from Chili's specifically because I know it's good there.
Yeah. I'm going to say Pizookie from BJ's, obviously, because that's, the place. I need to go on discount Pizookie day. I forget what day of the week it is, but there's a day where you can get them for half off or something.
We'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you, Aaron, Megan, and Hunter, for your awesome question.
For this great question. It sparked a lot of thought.
Feel free to send us a Pizookie or a lava cake or both.
Yeah,
if you're feeling so inclined.
Awesome.
Let's get it started up in here.
Let's get into our random word generator, wordcounter.net.
I'm so ready to see what it's going to be.
Me too.
Spring!
This is so great because we're
almost
in the winter blues right now.
Yes, we are. Seasonal depression is here.
And look, guys, I love winter. Like, I love snow. Snow is my favorite weather. It just makes me so happy. I could sit and watch it for hours. I love playing in it. But we recently had like a few big snow days here. Mm-hmm. But the problem is all of my friends live on campus where they don't have to drive to each other, and I live off campus where I do have to drive to them. And when it's snowy and you have a snow day, it's because the roads are bad. So the recent snow days we had, I couldn't drive over and play with anyone. And Jake wasn't home, and my mom and sister didn't want to play with me.
We couldn't have a play date.
All I wanted to do was play in the snow. I wanted to make a snowman and throw snowballs and sled, but you know, I guess it's just I'm grown up now, and
yeah.
Life had other plans.
You could have made a snowman by yourself.
I was actually going to, but I didn't want everyone in my apartment to look out and see me and be like, oh.
So what?
But, you know.
My thing about winter and spring is that I like winter when it's like, I like winter up until it snows once, then I'm done.
Yeah.
If it doesn't snow at all, I hate it.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, I really tolerate the cold up until Christmas. And then once it hits January, I'm like, I don't want any more of this.
Yeah.
Like,
but honestly, with climate change, it's been feeling like spring.
know. Literally, last Friday it snowed, and then this Friday
it was
60 degrees.
Yeah, and
like,
I had my windows open.
Like, what are you? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I also think like it's the transition from winter to spring is awesome because seasonal depression is at like an all-time low. And it's crazy how like as soon as it hits 60 degrees,
everybody,
I'm just like, yes.
Class participation drops because people stop going to class. I find a will to live again.
Yeah. I go get ice cream because it's nice.
I wear a sweatshirt and shorts, which is the best clothing combo. And it's just amazing. Yeah. I mean, look, I like notoriously have said that I don't like spring. It's my least favorite season.
Yeah, and you don't like summer too much either.
No. I don't really like hot weather.
You're like the opposite of the mainstream people.
Yeah. I like
go off.
Spring weather is good after a cold winter. Like it is nice, and I like 50s and 60s is like my ideal temperature. 40s to 60s. But the only thing is I have such bad allergies. So the spring wrecks me.
I forgot about allergies. Smallergies.
No, not when they're like horrible and make you not be able to do anything.
Sorry.
So that's my only like deal with spring. I mean, it's really weird though. Like, do you ever like walk outside and like the way it feels just brings you to a certain memory? No? Like I sometimes I walk outside and it will be like 55 and like a little humid and I'm like, it feels like Easter.
You know those TikTok sounds where it's like just outdoor sounds and it's that one bug that's like doo doo. Yes,
that's a bird. That's not
what
a
did
bug.
I say?
You said bug.
Oh,
that's a bird.
Yeah,
it's a morning
I said bird.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I said
sorry.
That I feel like the noise. I'm always like, whoa.
See, to me, that's
I'm a child.
Summer.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're just talking about the sound.
Yeah, the childhood summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer, like early morning. You hear the lawnmower start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I get it in that sense, but I don't know that I've walked outside and been like, this reminds me of Easter.
I have. So I like that happens to me all the time. I walked outside. Like in the fall sometimes I'll walk out or if it's a certain temperature and vibe and I go, this is a morning before soccer practice in August. Or I'll go, this is district playoffs. Or this is me about to get on the bus for a volleyball game.
Interesting.
Like I don't know. I guess I thought it was normal. Comment down below if
it probably
you
is normal.
this.
I just don't know that I have.
I experience it all the time. Like there have been many times lately that I'm like, today feels like Easter. And I just...
It also just could be that I have really terrible memory.
That's true.
And you have a good memory.
Good memory.
Pretty good memory, yeah. So maybe that's what it is. Because I'm sure that's normal. I mean, people see that. It's like nostalgia works differently for everyone. So it's like the feeling of being outside reminds you of like stuff. That's normal.
Nostalgia is just like... I do get it with music too. And
yes.
Like...
Oh, and we've talked about that before.
Did we talk about it on the podcast?
Yes. Because you talked about Anderson .Paak's album. And then I was like, music does it for me, but also movies and TV shows. I couldn't remember
if it was off the record or on the record because I wrote a paper about it for Greg's class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
I was in that class.
Yeah, you were.
I sat behind you. Do you remember?
I do.
Yeah, we weren't really friends then.
That was like last year.
Yeah.
Guys, if there's one thing about Georgea and I, if we're in class together, we are acting up.
Facts.
We are menaces. You will know that we have a podcast. You will know that we are friends. You will know everything that's happening in us, every bit of lore about us.
One time, one of our professors, like, we were walking out of class or walking into class.
Yeah, out of class. At the end of the class.
And our professor said, "Ugh, you two again."
And we were like...
And that was crazy.
And we didn't even talk in that class.
That was literally crazy. Like, we weren't obnoxious in that class. It was a bigger, like, lecture thing. We sat in the back.
It was our 3-hour-long movie class.
Yeah.
That we hated.
Yeah.
That class brings back so many bad memories.
Because it was also just, like, a really bad time. In my life and Ruby probably just by association. Yeah. But it's also funny because like I would sleep during that class.
I brought a neck pillow.
I remember, Ruby would bring her neck pillow, and the seats were terrible.
The seats were so
bad. But I would be so tired that I would just sleep. And I remember we were watching Psycho.
It was 6 to 9 p.m.
Was it Psycho or was it? No.
We didn't watch Psycho.
No, we didn't. It was Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. Oh my God.
And like you had to have, obviously it's a class, you have to know what's going on, but I would just fall asleep. And I remember Ruby would like hit me at plot points and she'd go, he just died. He just this. And it was just so funny because I would literally be like passed out and she'd be like, Georgea, this just happened. I'm like, okay.
That class literally, I mean, putting us in a class that's 3 hours long in general, bad idea. Putting us in a class that's 3 hours long from 6 to 9 p.m.
on like a Tuesday.
In uncomfortable ass chairs.
Yeah. With the professor who really didn't like us.
She didn't like us. We got yelled at.
Yeah.
We were not doing anything. We sat in the back row because the reason I sat in the back row, well, obviously we sat in the back row so we could like go on our phones and no one would notice.
Right.
But also the wall is right behind so you could lean your head back and rest it against the wall and your neck didn't fucking hurt. Because the other thing was the screen was up, so if you sat anywhere but the back row, you were craning your neck up the whole class.
Right.
And so we were just sitting back there minding our own business, and she goes, "You three," it was us and our friend Michael Curtin, "You three, come move up here," and made us sit in the third row.
Like literally, why?
What movie did we sit in the third row for? I don't even remember.
Oh, it was Silence of the Lambs.
At least it was a good movie.
Right.
At least it was a movie I would pay attention to.
She really was like,
"You three." And our professor.
No, it's so funny, because one of the professors that Ruby and I have had like many times, and he's like super cool. He was there that day talking about like something. He was like he had come to talk about something and then he left. And he was there when we got yelled at,
and he was looking at us, shaking his head.
And I remember I had like a meeting with him afterwards, and he was like, he said something. He was like, "Oh, you and Ruby are wreaking havoc in that class." He said he was trying not to laugh.
We literally did nothing. Like, I have no idea.
Come up here.
Get in the third row. And I'm pretty sure she, like, sat behind us.
No, she did.
To make sure we weren't, like, doing anything.
Come on.
That was so humbling. Like, it was so funny having to get our stuff and walk up in front of the entire class. Mind you, literally 90% of the class was sitting in the back. Like, in the back 3 rows.
Right. So that we could see eye level the screen.
That class, we also had to like break up into groups and like Zoom outside of class and answer these questions. And of course, we weren't in the same group.
Of course,
and it was tragic.
It was insane.
It was so bad.
Ruby recently has been saying that she wants to go back to school. It's actually crazy because like you have two ends of the spectrum here.
Yeah.
Like I, by all means, am not complaining because I recognize that college is a privilege and I'm very lucky to have been able to go to college.
And look,
but
all in all, you have had a good college experience.
Yes, absolutely.
We
There's been
complain
some
about
hiccups, but I'm
overall,
I'm very lucky to have had the opportunities I've had.
And Millersville has a good media arts
Absolutely.
program, and we've made the best friends.
Insane professors who are like in your corner. Like I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
But I'm so ready to get out of there. I've learned everything I need to learn. I'm ready to spread my wings and fly. At the same time, the thought of doing anything besides school is terrifying. So I'm in this weird position, but all in all, I don't want to learn. I don't want to go to class.
Yeah.
Ruby is the complete opposite.
I just graduated in December.
Congratulations!
Thank you. I didn't walk yet because me and Georgia, of course, have a plot to walk together.
Of course.
But I finished all my classes and I got my diploma and stuff. And I just and I think a part of it is because college is comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been in school since I was 5 or 6
mm-hmm.
with no breaks.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we went through a pandemic and I switched schools and
mm-hmm.
all this crazy stuff, school was my constant. It has been my constant my entire life.
Yeah.
So now that it's I don't have that. And also it's school is a good excuse for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
If I didn't want to do something, I have school.
Yeah.
I have to do this for school.
Yeah.
And now it's I got nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just that unknown. Obviously I have a job and I'm I my last semester in school I wasn't really even there. I had
Mm-hmm.
one class, so I was barely a student.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I don't have it, I'm oh my
what
God.
do I do?
I want to take notes.
Yeah.
I want to take notes so bad.
And I said, come to school with me. You can take notes for me, Ruby.
But that's the thing is our media arts classes were not notes classes.
No.
I want to go to my government class and take pages and pages
come
of notes.
to PR too.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe. So if you need a note taker for class, I'm starting at $100 per page.
I thought you were going to... Okay. Yeah.
And...
She does some crazy notes.
My notes are awesome.
I think that makes sense, though, because, and I think about this a lot, too, the jump from college to real world gives you such whiplash. There's nobody, no matter how hard they try, can prepare you for it. Because it is the biggest change that we consciously
mm-hmm.
remember since going to kindergarten. But I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
So and it's terrifying because come August, your mind is going to be ready for that routine.
Exactly.
Of the academic year. After the summer, I'll go to school, gotta get a new, you know what I mean? And then it's boom, actually that's not how it is.
Yeah.
And I get stuck in this little idea that I think a lot of people do our age where and we've talked about this off the record, when you graduate college or when you're moving from schooling to not schooling, you think that you're going to be stuck doing one thing forever.
That is the thing. And it's so hard to remind yourself that's not true.
Literally nobody, not a single person has that experience.
The only person who does is literally Amy on Superstore because she was but she had different roles.
But she had advanced.
Yeah.
And moved in that, you know what I mean? It's not like she was
a floor worker forever.
Right. And so it's just not the Superstore comparison, but it's just I know that. Oh my God, I know that. And multiple people who I talk to that have graduated have told me that. And I'm
that's how I feel right now.
Yes.
Because it's I love my job, but I did not ever think or prepare to work in state government.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I like state government that much. I enjoy it and I love making a difference and I love the people I work with.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely opened my eyes to things that I didn't know I enjoyed. But I'm also I have so many other interests that I want to explore that I'm freaking out and I'm having crises and I'm oh my God, I'm not gonna have the chance to do any of the other stuff. And I'm
I want to
Ruby,
be a real estate agent.
Guys, I'm going to be a real estate agent. I'm getting my license. But I'm then I'm like, Ruby, you only have to stay here for as long as you want to.
Yeah.
Then you can go do something else. But then it gets to the point where it's like, if you have a job and you're there for a few years, then that becomes your new school, where it's like you're used to it and it's comfortable and it's like stable. And then it's like, oh my God, if I want to change it, then it's like, am I going to make as much money? How am I going to support myself? Am I going to get a job? Am I going to like it?
Right.
Oh my God. I'm so done with being an adult, and I just started. Like,
it's the career crisis.
It really is.
And it's also just like, on top of all of that, there's this underlying feeling that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Exactly.
And it's like, it is crazy. It is so crazy that I think that sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is like the one thing that I've known that I wanted to do, is like video and media, because it's the one thing like I'm super good at, I think at least, and that I know very well.
Yeah.
And there's never been a doubt in my mind. And there still isn't, but I still am like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be doing this. I don't know if I belong here. I don't think I'm as good as... It's like crazy. It's crazy how you can know something to be so true, and then at the same time, not at all.
Also, just the imposter syndrome.
Right, exactly.
Like, my job, I didn't apply for it. I was offered it because they knew me and thought I would be a good fit for it. And still every day I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm doing not as good as my coworkers. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not qualified. And then I'm like, they came to me about this.
Yeah.
I didn't even like apply and show them my resume and stuff to get it. Like, they came to me. So even if I'm not 100% qualified, they still like me for a reason. Oh my God.
And I think that that's something important that I want us to like share and like be open about, is because like, como se dice, it looks like we have our lives together.
We do not.
And like, it's so easy for it to look that way. Because it's not like we're going to be like, oh, I'm struggling, like on our Instagram account. You know what I mean?
Because our whole thing is being fun and happy and funny and silly and fun.
Right. But I want you guys to know that like,
we're fucking going through it.
Yeah. Like it's like everyone is though.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like, you could have no idea what you're doing and be like, ugh, like so many people have it figured out, but like even we don't have it figured out.
No. The only thing I have figured out is that I love this podcast and I just want it to get picked up so I can do this for my job.
Yeah. But I think it just goes to show that like even the people that you're like, oh, they have it figured out, they know what they're doing post-graduation, we don't.
No.
Ruby graduated and has a job that she loves.
Yeah.
And like obviously we're very grateful for opportunities.
Exactly.
And like I do not want it to come across as like ungrateful. Like I'm so grateful.
I don't think it even
and
does.
It's showed me so much, whatever.
But it's just like,
it's like,
just a lot.
We're still struggling. Like,
we're still struggling.
It's still struggling to like find an environment that you belong to.
Yeah. Also the struggle of like making friends when you're not in school and like when you're in your 20s, nobody talks about that either. It's so hard because it's like, I want to be friends with my coworkers, but I don't like I want to have work-life separation. But then also it's like, how the hell do you make friends when you're not in class?
Right.
Like out on the street, do you go up to people and say, hi, I want to be friends? Like, ugh.
How do you make friends not having mutual friends?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Like,
because
it's
I feel
crazy.
like everything since elementary school has just been like, oh yeah, I know of you because my friend knows you, or because like I've seen you in the hallways. I've seen you on campus. Like I know of you.
Now it's just
it's like clean slate.
So we just see the podcast get famous, and then people will know of us and then want to be
and then
friends
it'll be
with
like
us.
fine, like that pipeline will be there, but that's gonna be a struggle for sure, especially like, no offense, but I plan on moving away.
I know, like, no.
But like that's something I think about. I'm like, damn,
you're gonna go somewhere where
I'm gonna go
nobody.
somewhere where I know no one.
Yeah, at least
That's
I live
terrifying.
in my hometown, but like everybody from my hometown that I grew up with moved away.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know anyone here.
Yeah.
It's literally just like being an adult.
It's difficult. And
Props to all the adults.
There are so many, bro. Ugh.
Also, just
There's
like paying bills.
Yeah. Why do we got to do that?
Like,
but there's also like a lot of positives, and I think that's like another thing is like
Yeah.
I talk about this in therapy a lot. Like, it's so easy to focus on the bad things that are going on in your life.
Yes.
So easy.
You do have to focus on the good.
Because they are more prominent than the good things. But
Yeah.
if you actually like take a step back and realize how much you have, you're like, wait, I do have good things. I just take them for granted. Having a school to go to, I take that for granted. A school I like. Having friends, I take that for granted.
Yeah. An awesome apartment.
Right. It's stuff that's like so good, but it's like they take a backseat when something else happens, and it's so easy to let them take over. But I think like the blessing, cringe, and all of it is like we're going through it together.
Exactly.
Everyone's in the same
all
boat.
in it.
No one, I guarantee you, even the person that you think has it all figured out, they literally don't.
Yeah, that's
Like-
the thing too. I have a lot of people that will like message me or ask me like for advice and like, how do you deal with like, or how do you find a job and how do you deal with rejection? And I'm like,
Terribly.
I don't know.
Terribly.
Yeah,
I deal
not
with rejection
well.
terribly.
Not well.
When I got rejected from all of the internships except the one I got, I cried every time.
When I got rejected from a job I originally wanted, I also cried and went to Barnes & Noble, and then the Starbucks barista told me they were out of bagels, and then instead of ordering something else, I just panicked and walked away.
You think your life is over.
Yeah.
But no
then
one
it's
ever
not.
talks about that. Like, it's like we
Yeah.
never talked about that. So,
Oh my God.
just, it's so hard to be a teenager, a 20-year-old
All
teenager.
I am is a 22-year-old teen.
Right.
That's all I am.
I'm not ready to grow up.
We should write a show about this.
We should.
Genuinely?
We've been talking about doing a short film, me and Ruby. And by talking about it, I mean we talked about it once.
Yeah.
So,
It's going to happen.
yeah. 2024 and short films out. Imposter syndrome.
Exactly.
I would like to talk about something
Okay.
that's related, kind of.
Okay.
So I'm trying to cook more,
Oh!
and I'm a terrible cook. So,
too.
but the unfortunate thing is the only way to get good at cooking is by cooking.
And sometimes you have to suffer through some awful meals.
Yes.
But at least you're eating.
Yes, and Lord knows, and God do my roommates know that they have suffered through some terrible dishes. Let's talk about when I made pizza. Pizza. How hard can pizza be?
Ooh, I think I'm going to make a pizza this week.
Awesome. Dough, sauce, cheese, toppings if you want.
Pep.
Yeah. I made pizza. Dough, sauce, cheese, pineapple was on the top, but I put the entire bag of shredded cheese on the pizza. I didn't know that wasn't allowed.
Georgea.
I love cheese. Like,
How is that not allowed?
I don't know. Well, actually, I do know. I put the entire bag of cheese. Michaela was in the kitchen, and I was like, Michaela, you think this is fine? And she was like, yeah. And in my, like, if I was in that situation, I would have done the same thing. I don't blame her. It was me. So I was like, well, it was a point where I was like, well, I've used this much cheese. I have a little bit left. I'll just do the entire
exactly.
thing. You can't do that. It didn't cook. Like, I put it in the oven, and the top layer of cheese was hard, and then it was like gooey and melty underneath, and not in a good way. It was terrible. And the dough didn't fully cook through because I didn't spread it out the entire way. And my roommates ate it. And Noelle was like, this is actually kind of good. And I was like, okay. Like, there was probably 1 inch layer of cheese. And it was not good. And they ate it, and I felt so bad.
I wouldn't
was
have
like,
eaten
you
it.
guys are going to be sick. And they were nice about it. And they were just like, you tried. And Joanna was like, don't do it again. Don't put another bag of cheese on again. That was like probably the worst thing I've made recently.
That's where we're different, because Jake made something the other night. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, it was chicken. And I tried so hard. I could not. I looked at him and I said, I'm so sorry. I'm not eating this. It looked weird. And he didn't follow a recipe, and he tried to make breaded chicken, but he used like crushed up saltines, and it was only on the top.
Yeah.
And it was so chewy. And then I was trying to make it look better, so I put it in the air fryer, and it did. And I was like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I had mashed potatoes and some steamed vegetables.
But like,
That's a really hard part of being an adult. Is planning out what to eat.
Right, and I'm trying to work through it right now. But my roommates were so nice about it, and I still to this day I don't know how. They were so nice.
I wouldn't have eaten it.
I made a lasagna, guys.
Oh.
I had a hankering to make a lasagna. I was like,
Yeah.
I could do it. And I just like told everyone, I was like, I'm going to make a lasagna. No one cares. My dad makes lasagna like once a month.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. So I got the ingredients to make a lasagna, and
It looked.
it was good. I won't lie. It was good.
So
The
good.
process to get there, terrifying. I felt like I was on Iron Chef. Joanna supervises me sometimes when I'm in the kitchen,
That's smart.
which is smart. And it's also like, I second guess myself a lot. So I'll be like, can I do this? Is this right? And she just like affirms or denies that.
Yeah.
So she was there. She witnessed it all. She didn't help. She just answered a few questions. It was chaotic. I was boiling the pasta. I was making the sauce. I was making the ricotta mix. I was doing multiple things at once, and
so
I
proud
felt
of you.
insane.
Yeah. You were
And
literally the bear.
I was literally Carmi. I think that's his name. I haven't seen it too much. And I was in a white sweater, which I quickly realized is a bad idea.
No.
And so I took my sweater off in the kitchen.
Wow.
And I said, I'm hot. Like, I was manic. And Joanna was like, what? And she was like crying from laughing. I was like, I need to change my shirt. This is white. I can't wear this. I went into my room and I picked out a shirt that said bite me. And it had like a little pepper on it. Joanna actually gave it to me. I went into my room. I grabbed the shirt. I walk out in the kitchen room.
The kitchen room?
I walk out in the kitchen and Joanna starts like dying. And I thought she was just like laughing because I'm a funny, silly gal. She goes, you grabbed a white shirt.
Oh my God.
And I literally was like, I didn't even realize, because in my mind, I was like, it says bite me. That's funny. Bite the chef. I didn't even realize.
Bite the chef?
And so like I fell to the floor and was like crying from laughing. We both were like
God.
dying. And then I went and I got a different shirt. But that was just funny because like
Yeah.
I made a big deal about how I was hot and how I was wearing
I always
white.
get hot in the kitchen.
Yeah,
I
it was
always
crazy.
I'm in like shorts and a sports bra. Can't do it. And then I get food all over. I need to get an apron.
Yeah.
I
had
want
like
one.
a towel over my shoulder. I was
Oh
like,
my God, you're so official.
I know.
Like,
the lasagna came out great. Unfortunately, Michaela doesn't like lasagna, and
What?
Joanna is vegetarian, so Noelle was the
No.
only one who ate it. But she liked it. She said it was she got
Good.
seconds, which was huge.
God.
The only thing was like there wasn't a lot of spice on it,
Yeah.
like because I just like underspiced it. So she added some, but it was great.
I'm
and
so proud.
I took some to my friends that had COVID, and they
wow,
liked
I
it.
didn't get any. And
Oh.
I had COVID. So guess I just wasn't included in
Sorry.
the friends that got COVID.
Well, I'm
memo.
gonna make it again,
Okay.
but
sure.
I'm gonna take some time because
It was a lot.
it was a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna make meatballs for a little bit, and then eventually.
Yeah. I had a brief stint where I got HelloFresh like these last 2
Dude,
weeks. But
I wish it was cheaper.
I wish it was cheaper, but here's the thing is I didn't end up like, well, first of all, I got HelloFresh and then I got COVID and I was like on bed rest.
Recently?
Yeah, like in the past 2 weeks.
Oh my God,
That
I didn't know
shrimp
that.
meal, that was HelloFresh.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I wasn't cooking because I was like dying. So those 2 HelloFresh meals went bad because I just couldn't make them.
Oh yeah.
And in reality, like in theory, I really like the idea. It makes it easier. It is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And also like some of the meals are just a little too complicated.
Yeah.
Where it was like when I got home from something and I was like, oh, I don't know if I feel like cooking, but like I need to cook this. There was just a lot of pressure. I will say though, I made shrimp and couscous and roasted broccoli.
That
Oh
sounds so good.
my God. It was pearled couscous too, so it's like the big balls.
Yes.
I
love
love
couscous.
couscous. We need to, like, couscous needs to, I always forget about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And the shrimp was perfectly
Yeah.
seasoned with like garlic and lemon. Oh my God. It
hungry.
was insane.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. It's been awesome.
That's good.
So we've both been on our cooking journeys.
Yeah.
Maybe
Which
we'll
is, like, a
make,
huge
maybe
step
we'll make
in
a Hyper
adulting.
Talkative cookbook
Facts.
or a cooking video
Or
series.
HelloFresh can sponsor us.
That would be great. Hey, HelloFresh, please, I'm begging you.
Like, I'm a terrible cook, so I could. That would be great. Like, oh, if she can do it, you can do it.
Oh, we should reach out to their people.
Okay. All right.
I think that would be pretty cool.
I think so too.
Speaking of how I just had COVID, which I know is so embarrassing. Like, who gets COVID in 2024? Apparently, all of my friends and
I
me,
didn't.
except for Georgia.
Let's just say it's funny, I took a COVID test and it came back and it said built different. So
You had it last month.
Okay.
Okay.
Why'd
You had
have
it last month.
Yeah, I had it for like 4 days.
Same. I tested positive on Sunday. I tested negative on Friday.
All right. Well, I was around every single person who had COVID. And I didn't get it.
So you are built a little
my
different.
test came back and it said built different.
Yeah. Recently came under a bout of COVID. Wasn't great. Got very sick. But I was the first in our friend group to test positive. And so, you know, when that happens, you're like, where did I get it? And me, like, I cannot rest until I have a theory that is like 99% probably true of where I got it, just because I don't know, I just like to be like, oh my god, this is where I got it, and blah blah blah. I don't know why, I just do, and like I'll bring it up tons of times. So I was trying to think back, because I have not been doing much.
Right.
Like, I just had surgery, I can't really leave the house, it's been snowing, so like I literally haven't been out of the house besides like the grocery store. And all the people, like, if I had been with people, none of them were sick. So I was like, I couldn't have gotten it from one of them or at a place where they were. And so I'm thinking, and I'm like, where could I have gotten it? And then I realized that one morning I went to Grand Central Bagel with Jaina and our friend Alyssa. And we had bagels, but I was like, you know, Alyssa and Jaina are fine. And I realized afterwards we went to That Fish Place.
That's
right
the
next
title
door.
of the place.
It's called That Fish Place if you're not from around Lancaster. And at That Fish Place, they have this huge, like, touch tank thing where you can touch stingrays or manta rays. Whichever ones are, like, not dangerous.
I don't know. One of them.
Yeah. And I was like, guys, like, should I do the touch tank? And they were like, yeah. And I stuck my arm in the touch tank. First of all, I rolled up my sleeves not far enough.
She said.
It was like 2 degrees outside, and my sleeves were soaking wet, and they froze. But I touched the stingray or whatever, and then 2 days later, I got COVID.
The stingray had COVID.
And so I started telling people that I got COVID from the touch tank. Later, I found out that all my other friends had COVID, and we probably got it from one of them or from the movie theater. But it was really funny. And so I was texting my sister and Alyssa, and I was like, guys, the stingray gave me COVID. And they were like, no. And I was like, yes.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So thanks a lot. I'm just kidding. It was not That Fish Place's fault. I'm not going to press charges.
But thanks a lot,
Stingray.
And that is where we're gonna end up.
Stingrays. I want to go to the aquarium.
The Baltimore one?
Yes, I'd love the aquarium.
I've never really been
What?
to the aquarium.
We should go.
Okay.
Unironically.
Okay.
It's so fun.
You just like look at fish?
Yeah, and you can go see dolphin shows.
I've been to Hershey
there's
Park.
jellyfish?
I've been to Hershey Park and I've seen like the seal show.
At Zoo America?
No.
Oh.
In Hershey Park.
Oh.
It's pretty crazy.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I would always go and watch it so I could sit.
Yeah. Well, the aquarium's a lot better, so.
We'll go.
Awesome.
From spring to stingrays.
Spring rays.
Spring rays.
I could go for a spring roll.
Ooh. Remember we made
spring
those
rolls?
Were awesome. Guys,
Shit.
we posted
Maybe I'll
them.
go to Wegman.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening to
to
34 episodes of Hyper Talkative, or just one if this was your first episode. Weird episode to start on. No hate.
Go back to number 1
Yeah.
and listen, please.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just on. You can tell it's the end of January. This month has lasted for 3 years.
It has.
So, if you want to get more hyper talkative content,
which why wouldn't you?
Follow us on social media, Instagram and TikTok at Hyper Talkative Podcast, Twitter at Hyper Talkative. We have a website, www.hypertalkativepodcast.com.
And we have a link tree in all of our bios, which is literally just will go to all the things that we just said. So maybe you do that first instead of just searching. But at this point, you should already follow us.
By the time... Oh my god! This episode is coming out on Groundhog Day.
Oh my god! Did Punxsutawney Phil see his shadow? Guys,
we are
Groundhog
the
Day
biggest
is my favorite holiday. That's not a joke.
Fan. Did I ever tell you that I met him? I don't think I have. Sorry. Guys, I met Punxsutawney Phil. He came to the governor's residence and I went and I met him. I said, "Hi, Phil," and have a photo with Punxsutawney Phil. I'm the governor, but like Punxsutawney Phil. Did I get invited to see his ceremony this year? No. Kind of butthurt about that because I thought we were vibing.
Well, you just show up. You don't have to pay.
No, but like I could be invited because the governor gets to go on stage. So like I could have
gone
done
on
that.
stage.
But maybe next year.
Yeah.
But by the
I
time,
can't believe I didn't realize sooner.
Oh, me neither. This episode's literally coming out on Groundhog's Day.
Happy Groundhog's Day.
Happy Groundhog's
My
Day.
favorite holiday ever.
And
I love you, Punxsutawney
Happy early
Phil.
Super Bowl, my favorite holiday ever.
Aw, February, what a great month.
It really is.
I might go see Phil. I might.
She's considering
It's still, I looked up, you just show up.
But it starts at 6 a.m.
I know, but if I drank a lot of caffeine, I'd be so fine. And I'd be...
Then do it.
Because like, okay, all right. We'll see, guys.
We'll see. When you watch this, you'll know if she was there.
Oh, you'll know.
You'll know. Oh my God. Wow. On that note.
Love you guys.
Peace be
Love you,
with
Phil.
you.
And with you. Hyper Talkative Podcast is brought to you by us. Just us.
Unless you want to sponsor us. Wink, wink.
Hyper Talkative is recorded at the Candy Factory Co-working and Social Club in downtown Lancaster.
Our theme music was done by help from Johnny Jed Music, and the show is recorded, edited, and published by Georgea Hall and Ruby Murdoch.